Hello guys, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Hopefully we are feeling good. I am on the fucking ball today, but not that I'm not always on the ball. I'm always on the ball. But Leo has actually got last minute play day after school, so I am making use of my time and I am sat at Starbucks for now. I think 6.5 hours. And Franny's like, I was supposed to get Franny in like half an hour, and now he's like, oh, can you get me in an hour and a half? So I'm like, fuck it, yeah, I will do a presentation. I'm gonna get ahead of the game. So like and subscribe. This is coming to YouTube. You're watching it from YouTube. Anyway, food noise, and it's something that people speak about a lot. Everyone has, different things that they might go through. For example, I have spoken to people who maybe suffer with things like, binging, comfort eating, on the other spectrum, starving themselves and then binging, things like waking up during the night and needing to, you know, let the dog out but just going and smashing a chocolate bar, like these things. And what I want to create is that awareness around about it, because I know what it feels like sometimes to go through something and feel like you're a bit alone. Now I have actually experienced food noise a lot more recently. It's something I do, over the years. I've had my binging. I used to, after school, go into, it was Wilkinson's at the time, and I'd go in and buy like 4 bags of crisps, absolutely smash the crisp. Then I'd buy a big bag of granola, and take handfuls of granola. Come on. I've been there, I've done the soup diets, I've done all these extreme things, but more recently I've noticed myself, especially when it comes to certain parts of my cycle, just before my cycle, I noticed that food noise, like actually at the weekend I had to put myself to sleep because I was just like to Franny, I am going to fucking eat this house if I don't go to bed. There was just going to be no stopping me if I started. So what we're going to talk about is food noise. What is it? How do we handle it? Is there anything that we can do mindfulness wise that might help us? And I think, again, just speaking about it to other people, in the group chat, or maybe you're at a walk with your friend, and again, creating that awareness around about these kind of things. Okay, so what is food noise? Now, food noise is the constant thoughts surrounding foods within your mind, and it can be things like counting down to your next meal when you're not hungry. Now, again, when I went through pretty harsh and extreme dieting phases, I used to eat a meal and be like, right, okay, I've got 3 hours until the next meal. And I do find myself every so often doing things like that. I like to look forward to my final meal of the day because that's my skinny popcorn that I have. But sometimes I'll be like, all right, I've got an hour till I can have that. These kind of thoughts, thinking about what you're eating at the weekend, like so far in advance, and like that's obviously 100% creating plans and all that. But that being a thought and it being a continuous thought, where it starts to then interrupt your focus or like being present because you're too busy thinking about food or what's next on the agenda. It is essentially like mental hunger rather than actual physical hunger, so it's what's going on in your brain. So we're replacing feelings with thoughts of something that we find comfort in, and it can make eating on plans seem so difficult. And I think that's why a lot of people do find it so difficult, is because they think that it needs to be so restrictive to be healthy. Therefore, that like amplifies food noise in the mind, right? So why food noise occurs. Now, there can be several contributing factors which heighten these thoughts and feelings, such as your previous history with food relationships. So maybe you might find that you have been through an eating disorder in the past, and now, yeah, you're recovered from that, but you do find these thoughts and feelings to come up. It might not be as much as what it previously did, but you can at certain points, or there's maybe certain trigger points that you can feel that being again amplified. Understanding food cues. So it might only occur when you walk past something that you start to think about food and you start to, oh my god, I want that. Or it's what it's like walking past Lidl Bakery. Oh my god, it heightens that want for these kind of things. Again, like the bins, the comfort in food, so understanding like when food is being used for a tool, the awareness of the situations, maybe there's environments causing this. Is it a thought? Is it a feeling like stress, boredom, sadness, tired, that emotional? Or are you just having a restrictive eating plan? Like, you know, I'll go on to that actually. And then things like hormonal fluctuations, changes like parts of your cycle, etc. You might find that might impact it as well. Or someone that's just done like a photo shoot prep where they've been really extreme, or a competition prep, again, really extreme, that kind of restrictive eating, like that can obviously, again, amplify it. That's my new word, amplify, I fucking love that. So how to handle food noise. Now, again, everyone is different, everyone will be different, and it's important to focus on what is best for you. And you might try something and be like, oh, I don't like that. For example, I went to therapy a few years ago, and the guy wanted to do like is like basically hypnotising me, and I just didn't want that. That's not the type of therapy that I wanted. So I tried something else, and I went to someone else, a woman who I felt more comfortable with, and we tried another method, right? So trial and error. Okay. Now, in terms of food noise, we might not be able to like remove it altogether, but we might be able to put things in place that we can handle it in a more positive way. So number one is the awareness. I keep saying this word a lot, self-awareness, awareness, but honestly it is, again, the key to everything. The same with organisation, right? Am I actually hungry? Now I know sometimes you'll feel like, am I weird because I'm talking to myself? But if this is going to help you fucking stay on track and create better habits and better relationships, then fucking talk to yourself, right? So it's asking yourself, like, am I actually hungry? So actual hunger, and again, we've spoken about this before, actual hunger is a gradual build-up. Like earlier, I felt my stomach starting to, that hunger that growls, and I left it a wee bit, because I was just like, oh, well, I'm going to end up having a big massive gap, I'll leave it a wee bit, and it came on again, and I was like, right, I need to eat. Whereas food noise is like sudden, I need that. I walk past the Lidl bakery, oh my god, I need that cookie. Okay, that's a sudden needed want for something. Another way is having more balanced meals, so full of good nutrients, protein, carbs, fats, having enough fibre in there as well. But the main thing is prioritising protein in most of your meals. This is going to help keep you feeling fuller for longer, as well as obviously having enough fibre, which people overlook this. You're wanting around 25 grams per day, and this is having like a balanced meal is going to help stabilize your blood sugars. Okay, so you're not going to hit that hypo and think, oh my god, I need sugar. Okay, so that would be, for example, at lunchtime having a chicken salad wrap with maybe some cheese in it and maybe a nice sauce through it, maybe a bit of fruit at the side, some pineapple, watermelon, whatever it may be, right? That is what I mean by a balanced meal. You've got carbs, the wrap, chicken's the protein, cheese is the fats in there, fruit is also a carb and a good micronutrient. Okay. Also, you need to stop skipping meals or leaving such a big gap between meals. Do you fast for like 7 hours a day? No wonder you've got food noise, because you've got that big break in between. Okay. Mindful eating, so things like taking your time to eat. I'm really bad for this. I just go. Like the other night I had a meal and Franny was like, have you finished that already? So yes, take the time to eat, slow down, be present, enjoy what you're eating. Oh my god, that tastes fucking class. Also incorporating foods that you enjoy and not deeming things like a chocolate bar as bad. I'm actually in my only fat loss phase now. I've actually not been talking about my goals right now, because obviously I was doing a triathlon. I will come on to that soon. However, I'm on a wee fat loss phase, and I actually have a chocolate bar at the end of every day, and Galaxy White. Honestly, I look forward to it. I do not deprive myself, because everything in moderation prevents this restrictive behaviour. Okay. Self-awareness. I say this all the time. Understanding. So it's the key to it. When you do feel food noise being at its highest, or when you feel that you're going to turn to food, it's that self-awareness of, is there anything that's happened that makes me want to do this? Is it a thought? Is it a feeling? Is it an environment? Is it a person? And understanding makes you more aware of the process. It makes you more aware of your emotional side of things, and then it allows you to actually pair it with something that's going to help you, that's obviously not food. So if you feel like your food noise is when you are highly stressed and you feel like that's when you want to turn to food, then it's right, okay, stress, what is the opposite of stress? It's obviously like feeling good, feeling happy. So what is the things that make us feel happy? It might be going to the gym, it might be going out a run, it might be talking to your friend on the phone, it might be listening to a podcast, it might be reading a book. Like, it's then replacing it with something that is going to help drop that food noise down. Another thing around environment is things like social media. Are you always searching for food on Instagram? Because then it's all, the algorithm is going to pop up. I actually done this on my prep. I used to watch this guy, and I don't know if I've told some people this. I used to watch this guy, and he used to get a takeaway every night, and I used to sit and watch him eat it on Instagram. I think it was on TikTok actually. And the more I watched that, the more other shit then came up. So attract what you want to see, attract your vibe, is that it? Attract your tribe, you know what I mean. If you want to see more fitness content, search fitness things. If you want to see croissants, then you bet you're going to see croissants. What and who you surround yourself matters for any goal in life, any goal in fitness. As it says, negativity attracts negativity. If you're with someone all the time that is pulling you down, that is constantly moan, you're going to be moan yourself because of your environment, right? Align everything in the right direction, and you know what? Sometimes that means cutting off people, and that's okay. Communication, so open up, as I said, speak about your struggles, creating that awareness. Our group chat is a safe place that if you want to speak about these things, there's so many girls, you'll be able to help each other, trust me. And we can absolutely fight these demons together. It's not about erasing food noise, it's about learning that it doesn't need to be your entire focus point of the day. Now, mindfulness, these are things that you can incorporate. Now, this is something that I do say to clients, is when you go through certain things in life, and I'll maybe say okay, start to journal and understand, but you do need to put in that effort. So when it comes to did you see what I done here? The pun, mindfulness, trying to be funny, but it's easy to be like, oh, I've got food noise, right? Okay, but what are you doing? Okay, we can sit and moan about it, but what are you doing to actually help yourself? Okay, so these are things that you can obviously put in place. So first of all, pause and act, right? Your mind might say, oh my god, I want chips. Pause and understand, do you actually really want chips? Or is it maybe because you smelled them? Or is it maybe because you saw someone eating them? Or is it maybe because your kids have got them? So instead of actually having the bag of chips, replace it with a lower calorie option. So you might make homemade potato chips instead. Or instead of having something like a bag of chips, you might want to replace it with a Squares bar. Do you know what I mean? Replace it with something else that will hit the spot, but it's not going to equate to the same intake. It's going to be lower on the calories, right? You're still allowing yourself to have that extra bit of food, but you're making a better choice off the back of it, right? Another one is, where is the hunger coming from? Is this just a thought, or can you literally feel that in your stomach? A thought means it will actually pass if you put the right things in place. A feeling is like, oh my god, inside your stomach. So have a meal that you've maybe cooked or prepped, or go and prep something, or have a snack, but eat with intention. So something that you are going to be fulfilled by. It might be like a banana, rather than going for a bag of Haribo. Okay. The 20-minute rule. Now, I spoke about this ages and ages ago. So if you feel that urge to eat, distract yourself for 20 minutes. Now, this might be out a walk, it might be talking to your friends, reading a book, put the washing on. But if in 20 minutes that craving's still there, then allow yourself to have that certain thing. So if you're craving a cookie and you're like, oh my god, after 20 minutes it's still there, have yourself the cookie. Have the cookie, because then it'll prevent you from making a binging. It'll prevent you from going on that binging spree, and you're making that conscious decision, and it's not just a reaction out of nowhere. Also, journaling. So ask yourself, and you can make a scale on this. How was your food noise today? If you feel like you're someone that struggles with this, do this every single day at the end of the day. How was your food noise? 0, 1 to 10. If so, was it anything that triggered it? And did you do anything in that day to quieten that food noise down? And then you can start to be aware of patterns and then act accordingly, okay? I keep saying okay, I'm sorry. The way you speak to yourself, instead of bashing yourself, ask yourself, like, what do you need? What are you craving? So, for example, of your story when Kirsten competed, right? And this is going to allow yourself to shift to compassion and actually giving yourself the things that you need, right? Emotionally, mentally, physically. Now, when Kirsten competed one of her shows, right? This is when bodybuilding's very annoying, and it can be very political, shall we say. But one of Kirsten's shows, you get moved around, right? And you know what place somebody's going to get, right? So Kirsten was moved, and it looked like she was going to get second place, right? So boom, fucking amazing. Now it's not about placings, right? But placings are obviously wee cherries on top, right? And okay, she's going to get second here, and she ended up getting fourth, which is amazing, right? Amazing. But my automatic response off the back of this was, oh my god, this is my fault. Oh my god, how is Kirsten feeling? And I started to get into that stressed state of mind, right? Sitting on my sofa, I honestly remember it, even though it wasn't that long ago, right? So I was getting into that stressed state of mind. Oh my god, Kirsten's going to think this is all my fault. Oh my god, I wasn't a good enough coach. Like, pure automatic, no reason for that, right? And I started to get myself really stressed and really worked up. That I was like, fuck it, I'm going to fucking have a sticky toffee pudding. I want a fucking dessert. When actually that is not what I needed. I just needed to actually talk to Kirsten, make sure she was okay. Like, that was my point of concern. That I got so stressed because I was worrying about, oh my god, Kirsten, how's she going to feel? And my automatic response was, oh, you need food. Like, you need something, dessert, to take your mind off that for 5 seconds. When actually I just needed to speak to Kirsten and reassure her and make sure she was okay. I just needed that wee bit of comfort, not me comfort from her, but I just needed to have that wee check-in, that talk with her, and it was fine, okay? So, and there's another thing, meditation. Now take 5 to 10 minutes per day just to breathe. No thoughts, no this, no that, just be present, that awareness in your own mind. Now this can allow your mind to be in a more calmer state to make better choices. So hopefully this helps, guys. I'm so sorry it's so long, but hopefully this helps. Give me some feedback and like and subscribe.